The story of Stephen in the Bible is primarily found in Acts chapter 6 verses 1 all the way through chapter 7 verse 60. Stephen is known as the first Christian martyr. His story provides a vivid account of his ministry, trial, and eventual execution by stoning. Here's an outline of his story. Stephen's appointment as deacon in Acts chapter 6 verses 1 through 7. Stephen first appears as one of 7 men chosen to assist the apostles in ministering to the needs of the growing Christian community. The early church faced challenges, including complaints that the Greek-speaking Jewish widows were being overlooked in daily distributions. The apostles selected Stephen and 6 others to handle these tasks, allowing the apostles to focus on prayer and ministry of the word. Acts chapter 6 verses 3 through 5. Stephen is described as a man full of faith and of the Holy Spirit. Acts chapter 6 verse 6. He and the other 6 were commissioned through prayer and laying on of hands. Stephen's ministry and opposition. Acts chapter 6 verses 8 through 15. Stephen became a prominent figure in the early church, performing great wonders and signs among the people. Acts chapter 6 verse 8. His wisdom and spirit were so strong that members of a local synagogue could not refute him, leading to their hostility. Acts chapter 6 verses 9 through 10. Stephen's teaching provokes opposition from the synagogue of the freedmen. Unable to defeat him in debate, they falsely accuse him. Acts chapter 6 verses 11 through 14. Stephen is accused of blasphemy against Moses, God, the temple, and the law. These accusers stir up the people and religious leaders, leading to his arrest. Acts chapter 6 verse 15. As Stephen stands before the Sanhedrin, his face appears like that of an angel. Stephen's defense before the Sanhedrin. Acts chapter 7 verse 1 through 53. In response to the accusations, Stephen delivers a powerful speech before the Sanhedrin, recounting Israel's history and demonstrating how they have consistently resisted God's messengers. He focuses on Abraham, God's covenant and promise. Acts chapter 7 verses 2 through 8. Joseph, God's providence through Israel's time in Egypt. Acts chapter 7 verses 9 through 16. Moses, deliverance from Egypt and giving of the law. Acts chapter 7 verses 17 through 43. The temple, a reminder that God does not dwell in human-made temples. Acts chapter 7 verses 44 through 50. Stephen concludes by accusing the religious leaders of betraying and murdering the righteous one, Jesus, just as their ancestors had persecuted the prophets. Acts chapter 7 verses 51 through 53. Stephen boldly accuses the Sanhedrin of being stiff-necked, resisting the Holy Spirit, and failing to obey the law they claim to uphold. Stephen's martyrdom. Acts chapter 7 verses 54 through 60. Stephen's accusations enraged the Sanhedrin. As they prepared to act, Stephen had a vision of heaven. Acts chapter 7 verses 55 and 56. Stephen, filled with the Holy Spirit, sees the glory of God and Jesus standing at the right hand of God. He proclaims his vision, which further enrages the crowd. Acts chapter 7 verses 57 and 58. The crowd drags Stephen out of the city and begins to stone him. Saul, later known as Paul, is present and witnesses Stephen's death, giving approval to his execution. Acts chapter 7 verses 59 and 60. As Stephen is being stoned, he prays for his attackers, saying, "Lord, do not hold this sin against them," echoing Jesus' own words on the cross. He then dies, becoming the first Christian martyr. Conclusion. Stephen's story is significant in several ways. It highlights the persecution early Christians faced, and it also marks the beginning of a more widespread persecution that eventually led to the spread of the gospel beyond Jerusalem. Additionally, his witness and his prayer for his executioners left a lasting impact, especially on Saul, Paul, who would later become a pivotal figure in Christianity.